We recognize the 200 EEZ, Exclusive Economic Zone, and also the United Nations, the international community also recognizes a jurisdiction of 200 miles. So even without the sanctuary, Palau must do its part to enforce and safeguard our 200-mile EEZ. But right now, we cannot do it with one league and 2 small patrol boats. We need to have a partnership that can truly enforce the 200-mile. And the Marine Sanctuary is the answer to that. It's not just about overfishing by the international commercial fishing companies who are licensed to fish in Palau. It's also about the illegal, unauthorized, and unreported catch, IUU, if we don't do something about it, I guess statistics in Lamadum, 3% of the Madeira bluefin, 38% of Madeira yellowfin, roughly 49–50% of Madeira skipjack. If we don't do anything, those populations will all gradually decrease until there's no more fish. And when there's no more fish, there's no more money coming from the commercial fishing. There'll be no more money coming from the tourists. There'll be no more livelihood for the Palauan people who depend on fish for our livelihood. Our culture will be gone. Our way of life as fishermen, as farmers, all of that will be gone. So it's not about marine sanctuary of the government of Ramusao. No, it's about the marine sanctuary that has proven to work under a bull system established by our ancestors over the years. And this is what I keep telling the international community. We didn't have scientists as our forefathers, but they knew how to sustain the population of fish until now. And the world needs to implement the bull that has proven to work. And that's why we're going to Paris. People have never heard of Palau, but they said, why don't you take those small island people to come and talk about the bull? So we can recognize how we can be a partner to Palau. Anyway, I do want to again recognize representative our friends from Hawaii who are here, Mrs. Waka, and also Representative Johansson. Thank you. You are our family away from Palau. I appreciate the hospitality that the state of Hawaii continues to share with students and the people of Palau who are here. I thought I'd just give a short briefing on what's going on back home, and then give you a chance to ask questions or any other things. But I do so recognizing the fact that even though you're away from home, you basically know what's going on back home through the Facebook, today's technology. In fact, takpay May, erbeng sa kutok light, si Diakreng sa Marbella. But thank you sincerely, Keal. I will always try to make use of the time and Sepek pass through. He mentioned Raklilaya, Kalimuraklul, and TV, but I know she represents the hearts and souls of many fellow Palauan citizens here, not only because you're cousins and you're here, or you're interested to see Honolulu or Palauan here, but you are here because you continue to care about Palau and what goes on back home. And I think what is very clear in Lara Abdul is that we need Palau to stand up together as a nation, as a culture, and as a people. Whether you're in Guam, Hawaii, mainland, wherever you are are very much a part of the Palauan nation building effort, and your input is just as important as those of us at home. With this, and I do want to share, there's as our island, young island nation, moves forward and tries to take our place among the community of nations. The formula for becoming a truly sustainable island country is no different from the formula that needs to be practiced in any other country, large or small. And that's really based on three things. Where is our economy heading in Palau? Where is the state, what is the state of our health as a people? And what is the state of our education as a people? Those are the three priority elements of development. And everything has to be focused along that line. Quickly, to our economy, as you know, we're fortunate to be in a situation where the economy is growing. Unlike many other international communities, people talk about declining economic growth, but in Palau, we're talking about limiting unrestrained or unplanned economic growth. Just during the day, reach 130,000 tourists in Mirabel. This year, we had to cut down our flights from Hong Kong, bringing Chinese visitors to Palau, because there are about 400% increase from last year. The lesson I think that we can all take is we should never put our eggs in one basket. Pero we continue diversify our source of tourism we make, so we balance it with people from Japan, Korea, Taiwan, yes, China, Europe, and the United States. That's the healthy direction of Palauan and any other country to take. What has been actually the case is that a tourist from mainland China malimisip turul tayo Sydney, so there were about 80% rate of growth. Right now, if we didn't do anything, at roughly about 80% of total tourist population to Palau, and that is not acceptable. So we made a conscious decision. It was to cut down the flights coming, those charter flights coming from Hong Kong, simply to cut down the number and try to increase continue to increase Siabal, Korea, Taiwan, Europe, and the United States. There's a debate back home going on this. Some are saying, President, you're crazy. You are limiting the opportunity of people to make money. Some people are saying, President, you're prejudiced. You are, you're against Chinese. But I ask for your understanding. It's not about prejudice. It's not about just opening up the sky and inviting anybody who wants to come. Girel nga sustainable plan. Girel make sure na bulwada takla umro level. Hindi ako modit, hindi ako take over by sources or forces that are not in our plans for a sustainable future for Palau and our children. So our friends from FSM and the Marshals, they say, send the tourists to us if you don't. So it's really an unusual situation, because a lot of places you go to, and the debate is how do they grow the tourism numbers. It's only in Palau that we're trying to cut down the flights or limit the number of people. But then again, sometimes our memories fade away really fast. You remember when the Japan economy bubble burst? That was the time that Palau was so dependent only on the Japanese market. It was a good market. Everybody enjoyed the number of Japanese tourists coming. But then when the bubble burst, we fell flat on our face. We realized that, hey, we cannot just depend on tourists from one destination or from one source. We have got to diversify. And so that's why we went to Korea, we went to Taiwan, we went to Europe. Palau Visitors Authority even contracted people from North America to bring tourists from the Europe. But that's the main thing, and I hope the help will explain diversification. Don't put your eggs in one basket. That's the key to the success. So economy of China collapses 5 years from now, we still have the other countries. If the economy of South Korea collapses, we still have other nations. And that's what is important. Nothing to do with prejudice or nothing to do about being crazy and not trying to make money. The other thing that I want to share with us is that the health of the nation is a critical priority. Then subong katamsada development and other abalwada healthy, maluwelo di paspase, and then it really is not serving the purpose for enhancing our economic development. To this end, health and more encourage again, they get into the medical field, they get into the nursing field, and they get into the healthy living. Rela mal actively kada sa school, or listening to our NCD, non-communicable diseases, directly mal balisi a program na yigil local school, anything to make our citizens aware it was a health an important part of livelihood. Earlier today I shared with some of us. Sa nakagala kasi our relatives sa wakon to marwayo lawa malabog na already, they don't have jobs. But you know what? The health survey has shown that the people from Honto and Yolda are the healthiest of the population. It's those of us making a salary and working for the government and the private sector in Color that are eating canned food and beer and sweet and salty and you name it. We are the least healthy of all people. So the sustainability concept of nation building is very important to each one of us. We should never let the power of money dictate the quality of life for our people. I wouldn't want to see my children and the children of my children grow up in an environment that if they didn't have money, they wouldn't eat. That if they didn't have money, they wouldn't go to the farm. That's the self-sufficiency aspect of Palau that is critical to an independent nation. Of course, we need to speak our language, we need to educate ourselves. But if the health of the country actually depends on the natural resources that we have. And you heard those guys in the team. How can we call ourselves fishermen if there's no fish to fish? How can you call yourself a Palauan if you don't have a fish to eat or the taros to eat? And slowly but surely, we are trying to actually encourage economic opportunities, a field of food production where our health is concerned. For example, 2 weeks ago, we got $5 million from Taiwan to do our grassroots program to raise pork, to raise chicken, to do aquaculture, and to do agriculture. Because those are the areas where we import a lot of vegetables and a lot of food, even from the United States, as we speak. We buy a lot of chicken, and we even buy a lot of pork. But those are industries that our people can certainly participate in. Aquaculture, you know the owl, you've only heard of the owl, the milkfish. Sellorit Michael, Sir Sarwa, Shalom Marwangat pa, the other weeping it Michael. In 2 hours, in Namuria, 4,000 pounds of milkfish. So the market is there. The technology is there. Lamo na approve was in the idea now is how can we extend it to the average citizen? You don't have to do a very big farm, but just a small pond, milkfish pond, or mayas farm, or a clam farm, all of those things can contribute greatly to the welfare of our people. Nice. Nice is costing Palauans $4 a dozen for nice. And aside from Mateo Oil and PMA, there's really nobody investing in that kind of money. So we are encouraging our people getting to the egg production and poultry business. You are sure to make money and make a living, and at the same time, help the healthy aspect of the The other area that the missionary and nation building is all about capacity building. Yang sa Pedro Murura Blua they expect rather repeat, rather brigade, rather getal continue men el horror travel. And I think it's in area of education that the moral ratio again October Belao ma degree tier, with my experience here, we can be proud of a lot of our children. I think where we're lacking is that we need more of our educated and experienced people to come home. But there's no doubt that a great population are adventurous, they're educated, and whether it's Hawaii, Guam, or mainland, they are in areas of responsibility. Yes, wages are low in Palau, housing are scarce, and we want our independence, but that's the challenge of nation building. How do we continue to work to attract our own children to family? You know, right now, in Palau, the old song that says, used to say, I cannot go to school because my parents cannot afford my college or training opportunity, that's irrelevant right now. I can stand before you tonight and say that scholarship opportunities in Palau are more than the graduates of the high schools combined, public and private high schools. This is because it's not just our money, our scholarship money offered by the government. Because of our independence, we are in partnership with every country that established a diplomatic relationship. There's scholarships to Cuba, and we have about 10 people in the health profession in Cuba. There's scholarships to Japan, and we have a number of students there. There's scholarship to Australia, to New Zealand, to the U.S. military schools, institutions, West Point, Merchant Marine Academy, oh, you name it. Then we have scholarships to Cuba, Russia, to Switzerland. We have scholarships from the Bill Gates Foundation. Oh, we have scholarships from private companies. Gel owner at Daiwa, used to be Daiwa, but now it's Dan Quixote. Close to Pagoda Hotel. The owner is a Japanese gentleman. He came to Palau last year to dive and fell in love with Palau. So he has been coming, and 2 months ago, I met with him with Wanda Titong, who is the scholarship coordinator now for Palau. And at dinner he said, Wanda, send 10 Palauan students to my company's scholarship program. I pay everything. They're averaging about 50, 60,000 US dollars a scholarship for that. That's just one company. But he is doing it because he is very in love with Palau, and he wanted to kind of do something for it. So this is my message to all the Palauan graduates this year. And I told the Minister of Health, Minister of Education, Sinton Salablay, I said, we cannot afford to just announce opportunities on the radio or wait for students to come back. We have to aggressively go into the classroom, identify who are the honor students and the high honor students, and sign them to a contract or sign them to a MOU. That if you graduate with this GPA, that you are automatically going to be the nominee to go to a college somewhere else, free of charge. Even your tickets going there and your tickets coming back when you graduate. My alma mater, Michigan, Grand Valley State University, they have 5 scholarships, full scholarships that they offer in my name. So the last guy to take advantage of that was lagay ako sa Raimul. Lakalong. Former delegate. He went to Michigan on that scholarship. So there's a lot of opportunities. And of course, even if you join the military, you know, you got the GI Bill or the opportunity to further. The challenge now is not that there are no opportunities. The challenge now is who are the committed students who can really take advantage of these opportunities. And whether you are out in Palau or outside of Palau, we allow dual citizenship, so don't feel like you're not eligible. I think the condition, of course, is when you get that Palauan scholarship, you sign on to a contract to return. So it's not like it's free money. You have to come home and do your years of service. But otherwise, that's the situation. Again, I find that technology is so important nowadays. And you should all be happy that your smartphones work to the fullest application apps. Some of us back home have a really fancy iPhones, but it's just for texting and calling and maybe taking pictures. So that's as far as our capital infrastructure priorities is concerned. That's our next goal of getting a fiber optic connected from Palau to Guam. It's timely also because YAP is not connected, and we have made a deal with FSM that they do a 50-50 cost sharing. So YAP to Guam is YAP's share, and Palau to YAP is our share. The only hurdle that we have to overcome now until ang Senate na pass our house and continuing to ask our senators to say please pass it as soon as possible, and I'm hoping that they do. We have a soft loan from the Asian Development Bank, and Momat sa though there are World Bank at Lalma FSM, and together we're able to fund the state project. The studies have shown that between the tourist and the business community, my economic conditions are allowed, and the system can pay for itself with a loan. So it's not the government who will be tasked to pay back the loan. The other infrastructure, of course, RALM. Right now, in La Shaval 3 weeks ago, Minister Cuarte signed the release of funds, and most of the RALM ang ruwag, and mera orior, and mora yun sa mga malala locally. Replace cycle pipelines, and most of them are sadly asbestos, made out of asbestos. And these water pipes have been in use since the end of the war. In fact, it was the Japanese who put them there. So the ODA grant will actually replace all the pipes to more healthy, as well as double the water pipeline from Ruwal to Marbaswa. For those of you from Marbaed and from Yuns and Imamade and Mario water pressure here, the second pipeline will help the natural flow of the distribution system, more eliminate the problem. Then, of course, again, temporary water lines are on top of KB Bridge. Get them replaced, so the next time you come, you can see permanent lines on the side of the bridge. So no longer will we have to go underwater, renrak, marbaiyo o mga channel. That's another big improvement that we want to share. Sewer-wise, direct para final design viral bit. Mo sewer sila i-ride, then ulur-orior, direct mo change sa alignment right sewer lines, mo bypass sa toklo bleed, imamaden direct yung nariya sewer outflow ang pasok sa ubig. The idea is to put them para sila kabus avoid the community directly with the design that they're doing and more gravity flow. That's the word I was looking for. Gravity flow mo diya necessary was in gire nariya dengi in Mumbai lang kityo. Come to Malakal and then from Malakal of course, I mentioned earlier my right, the Babaldao, the rural Arab system, extractoral, purifier, distributor in our household, individualize a system. Your population or state. A centralized system, where expect to asing around global economic bringing more along our level is going to be very expensive and costly. A master plan, about was the target again 10 states are all now in 10 water systems. In technology, tailor-made plungela dengin, plungela ral, bambina, MAME. You can do 500 for 500 people, 1,000 people, 2,000, but it's less costly. So lang mo run by renewable energy, solar. So you have a system that agree with because they have the latest. Kaya lang ulit para Paris tara ulmod yung taman mo. It's about opportunities European countries. And fund like I give renewable energy sources. Europa man champion implementation or solar energy, wind energy. They want to showcase blue below book technology. So it's important that we partner with them. Bring la multi-asil sa Marbella and continue long oil or Saudi Arabia, expensive. Fiber optic, sewer, water, of course, the best lab take care ng infrastructure right now we have excess power. There's about 21 megawatt of power. About 14 to 15 at the max. Mga reserve. Sabihin ko about 10-15 years from now, malas mo expand. Igel, kung nalila din gil ama di igel, sabihin ko kasi preventable, kung nalila din gil. Idira atam galyang lil, kira din gibas kita, maka din gil, alila branches, more tangle or wire, mata din gil, lubid thermal, lumidok la, utuloyar, mga ram, Probably rasing na din kima, alubing mechanic critical parts ra asing ang good more niya. But it's all about maintenance. Again, so detail capacity produce klungela din kita solving with implementation of SL10 megawatt sa na rin elang mo magilay din lang sila. I think my message is that we are never going to thoroughly say that we have solved every challenges, malugod hurdles and nobody can rightfully make a claim to that. But I think what I can say is we need the unity and other Palau to come together and work little by little, bit by bit, with our limited resources and our limited initiatives. Things like the marine sanctuary concept can go a long way to help. And I forgot to mention, Sasakawa Nippon Foundation will help Palau with a ship, a patrol boat that's slightly bigger than the Remelique. It's a new ship and will cost Japan $35 million US. So that alone, for the price of that boat, is a lot more than the money that we're getting for fishing fees every year, which are peanuts. So we are the owners of the marine resource, but we get very little or peanuts out of the revenue, and most of it most of the big money involved in this billion-dollar industry is actually realized by the outside commercial fishing companies. We do have to look at the long-term interest Palau. So I'll close kasi directly kung berura economy berulai lagi tapi tidak make sure Maria nebutsi kasi abala singaria spill over el mora citizenry ra Palau. Will marwa social security program ang important to make sure they don't get bankrupt. Will ma pension plan ang make sure as hindi ka bankrupt. Will ma medical health insurance Palau make sure na yung rotary. Those are the services that benefit our very people kita and serve. It would not be appropriate to say Palau is economically doing well. Yeah, those livelihood our citizens are given. That lang I get basic services. I think that's always a reminder in citizens, my leaders, do it not for somebody else's sake, but do things for the sake of our citizens. I thank you very much. I'm told there was we have to get out of here by 10 o'clock. Yeah, so we do have